Zbory OSBB, 2024, is a satirical drama that portrays the chaotic dynamics of a homeowners association meeting in a residential apartment complex. The film opens in a building plagued by frequent power outages, bringing residents together to discuss the potential purchase of a generator. However, what should be a straightforward agenda quickly devolves into a cacophony of arguments highlighting human nature, social conflicts, and the challenges of community decision-making. The narrative establishes a community on edge with various neighbors arriving for the anticipated meeting. Tensions rise as residents engage in disputes over parking issues, construction noise, and long-standing grievances. Proactive residents Anton and Yulia suggest using the building's reserve fund to buy a generator, but their proposal is met with backlash. Several neighbors argue that such decisions should not be made unilaterally, setting the stage for a deeper exploration of collective decision-making and individual interests. As the meeting unfolds, it transforms into a battleground for personal vendettas and hidden frustrations. The discussions shift from a focus on the generator to broader issues such as parking barriers and environmental impacts. Hrusha, fiercely protective of his car, pushes for a barrier to shield his vehicle from potential damage, while Oksana, a mother, argues that accommodations for children's needs should take precedence, stirring conflict with a neighbor who dismisses family considerations. The debates escalate absurdly, veering into territory concerning philosophical discussions on democracy and social hierarchies. The residents clash over what is truly important, highlighting the disconnect between individual desires and community needs. Despite efforts to maintain order and focus on the generator, the meeting spirals into chaos, with every resident proposing alternative, often ludicrous solutions. Some advocate for investing in solar panels instead of a generator, while others suggest a shared power schedule where neighbors alternate using high-energy appliances. One particularly outlandish proposition involves bribing an electricity official to ensure reliable power for their building. Throughout the film, the absurdity of the discussions reflects the complexities and dysfunctions inherent in community living. Residents who initially gathered for a collective resolution find themselves embroiled in petty arguments that reveal deeper social tensions and character conflicts. Ultimately, Zbory OSBB cleverly illustrates how a simple issue like electing to purchase a generator can unravel into a microcosm of society, emphasizing humor, frustration, and the often irrational nature of human interactions within a community setting. In Zbory OSBB, the ongoing conflict among residents reflects a broader commentary on human nature and societal interaction within the framework of an apartment building. Despite numerous discussions, a consensus remains elusive, with personal conflicts overshadowing significant issues that need addressing. The narrative pivots around a contentious proposal to restrict generator access to certain apartments. This contentious suggestion stems from residents' desire to prioritize their own needs over those they view as less deserving, showcasing the ethical quandary of self-interest versus community welfare. The ensuing secret vote results in everyone casting a ballot for themselves, leading to a humorous stalemate that highlights the inherent selfishness of the community. As frustrations peak, Yulia takes a bold step by announcing that she has used the reserve fund to purchase a generator independently. This revelation incites outrage from residents who feel betrayed, revealing fundamental fractures in their community. Nonetheless, Yulia contends that her decisive action was necessary to prevent prolonged indecision, prompting a complex emotional response among her neighbors. Ultimately, this leads to a grudging acknowledgement of their interdependence, culminating in a reluctant agreement to share the generator fairly. This moment of unity, albeit forced, illustrates the possibility of compromise even amidst stark dysfunction. Beyond its comedic facade, Zbory OSBB serves as a microcosm reflecting societal dysfunctions akin to larger societal structures. The array of characters embodies various social archetypes, revealing the complexities of governance and power dynamics. Yulia and Anton emerge as the pragmatists, advocating for practical solutions but facing resistance from skeptics and self-interested individuals. Their struggles represent the challenges encountered in leadership roles where trust is scarce. Conversely, Hrusha embodies the entitled car owner archetype, whose primary concern lies with his property. His insistence on a barrier gate mirrors real-world issues surrounding privatization, social inequality, and the tension between individual desires and communal needs. Oksana, the protective mother, additionally underscores the tension between family priorities and broader community benefits, reflecting societal debates about social policies. Each character's responses manifest the age-old conflict between cooperation and individualism, portraying the absurdities of community governance as they navigate their personal agendas. In summary, Zbory OSBB transcends conventional humor, inviting reflections on the intricacies of human relationships and social structures. The inability to reach unanimous decisions and the recurring personal conflicts highlight the challenges faced in any collective environment, shedding light on the fragile nature of community dynamics. In the film, the characters represent various perspectives that reflect broader societal debates, particularly in the context of a homeowners association (HOA) meeting. Central to the narrative are the conspiracy theorists, residents who dismiss all proposed solutions, suspecting corruption, concealed agendas, and flawed planning. Their distrust leads to intense discussions that echo some significant themes: the tension between public versus private interests raising questions about equitable resource sharing versus privileges for larger financial contributors, democracy versus autocracy debating whether decisions should emerge through consensus or if an authoritative figure should intervene during stalemates, and the conflict between short-term versus long-term thinking where some emphasize immediate issues while others advocate for sustainable solutions. These philosophical and political tensions illuminate the broader failings in human decision-making, making the film more than just a narrative centered on an HOA meeting. The film also satirizes the inefficiencies of group decision-making, showcasing the absurdity of bureaucratic processes. Characters engage in prolonged debates, revisit votes endlessly, and argue trivial matters, ultimately finding themselves back at square one. Key moments that underscore this theme include the numerous agenda shifts which divert the conversation from discussing a generator to irrelevant side issues, a malfunctioning voting system where repeated votes end in ties, sabotage, or neglect, and outlandish proposals that complicate rather than resolve issues. These elements reflect real-world political challenges where bureaucracy often overrides logic, leading to convoluted policies and red tape. Corruption and self-interest emerge as residents jockey for influence to sway outcomes for personal gain rather than the community's collective interest, further illuminating the theme of decision paralysis where discussions yield no resolution. In a pivotal moment of the film, ethical dilemmas arise as residents contemplate excluding certain apartments from generator access based on financial contributions. This debate raises critical questions about justice and equity within communal resources. Should benefits be reserved for those who financially contribute more, or should access be shared equally among all? This moral complexity adds a layer of depth to the narrative, encouraging viewers to grapple with the implications of power and the ethical distribution of resources. By highlighting these societal conflicts and bureaucratic frustrations, the film crafts a poignant critique of human decision-making. It emphasizes that while democratic efforts are commendable, sometimes authoritarian actions can effectively address urgent problems, inviting the audience to reflect on the nature of governance and community dynamics. The debate surrounding whether non-paying residents, particularly the elderly or disabled, should be cut off from shared resources prompts critical discussions about access rights, contributions, and societal responsibilities. This conversation mirrors real-world issues such as welfare systems and how government assistance is allocated, healthcare distribution, and the provision of utilities like water and electricity. Should these necessities be universally available, or should usage correspond to individual contributions? The disparity between wealthier residents seeking exclusivity versus those advocating for fairness and equality raises profound ethical questions about class privilege and resource allocation. A revealing moment occurs during a secret vote where individuals opt to exclude themselves from the community's shared resources, illustrating human hypocrisy. The simultaneous desire for benefits without accountability highlights a central theme: people often act in self-interest even while claiming to prioritize the collective good. This darkly comedic yet insightful twist underscores the complexities of human nature and community dynamics. As the film unfolds, the initial discussions at the community meeting deteriorate, devolving into chaos. The atmosphere becomes charged with yelling matches, personal attacks, and near-physical confrontations, reflecting the breakdown of communication that can occur in real-world disputes. This disintegration stems not from a lack of intellectual capacity among the characters, many of whom present logical arguments, but rather from entrenched egos and unresolved personal conflicts. Past grievances overshadow the current issues, exacerbated by cultural and generational divides that lead to differing priorities and values. Furthermore, mistrust among residents complicates rational discourse, with some choosing to disregard factual information and expert opinions. This inability to engage in constructive dialogue ultimately hinders the community's ability to reach a consensus. The film poignantly illustrates that when democratic processes fail under the weight of incessant debate, sometimes a decisive authoritarian action becomes necessary, a sentiment encapsulated when Yulia resolves the conflict by purchasing the generator herself. Still, the conclusion leaves viewers with an ambiguous sense of unresolved tension within the community. Although the generator is installed, the underlying grievances persist. The remaining tensions suggest that necessary compromises have been made, yet real change seems elusive and satisfaction among the residents is not guaranteed. Ultimately, the film serves as a compelling commentary on social structure, the challenges of collective living, and the delicate balance between individual rights and communal responsibilities. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.